Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Tom Morgan Drum Studio. Today we're in the Rudimental book again, a sequential approach to rudimental snare drum. And hopefully you've purchased this book and you're going through it with me. We're on page 59 and 60 today. And we're going to do a new rudiment. This is the single Ratamacue. And so the single Ratamacue is just a rudiment that really adds a drag to what we've learned earlier, the single stroke 4, although it alternates naturally. And you'll see that as we go through it. So if you look at page 59, where we have the single Ratamacue, we just start out with kind of a review of the single stroke 4, non-alternating. So a triplet, 16th note triplet going into an 8th note. 2, ready, and go. And we do it with the other sticking, starting with the left. Ready, go. Now, number 2 is exactly the same sticking, but now we just added drag. So these are not really the way the single Ratamacue is normally played because it's not alternating, but it's kind of a good idea to practice it non-alternating as well. So the top one there is just like the same sticking of number 1, but it adds the drag. And also notice that my drag, since I'm in the rudimental style, I'm not playing them as buzzes. I'm not going, but I'm trying to give you the 2 grace notes clearly. Even though they're close enough to the main note that it's perceived as one sound, it's different than the way we would play it in an orchestral setting. Okay, so here's number 2, top 1, ready, go. And the second sticking reversed, ready, go. And then that moves us to line 3, which is kind of back to the single stroke 4, only now we're going to alternate the triplets. And so it'll be right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, back and forth that way. And you'll see that that's sort of the skeleton for the way that the single drag or single Ratamacue is normally played. And you'll see that in line 4, but here's line 3. Ready, and go, and. And if you do the bottom line, it's just really the same sticking. It just starts in a different place in the sequence of sticking. But we'll go on to number 4. Number 4 now is the real traditional single Ratamacue. And so we've added the drags back into the sticking that was used in number 3. So here's number 4. Ready, and go, and. Okay, now you notice I'm putting an accent there where it's marked on the 8th notes, and that's traditionally the way Ratamacues are played, with that accent. Now, of course, it's a good idea to practice anything that has an accent to practice without an accent. In fact, anytime you think of any other variation to practice anything, it's always a good idea to try it and to work on it. You know, the more different ways you can do things, the more technique you're going to have. And then number 5 just puts the Ratamacue into an exercise with the 7-stroke roll based on a 16th note triplet. So it's the 16th note triplet that starts on the and of 1 and the and of 3 in this case. So okay, here we go. Ready, and go. And that sticking gives us a right-handed 7-stroke roll, which is kind of unusual, but it does happen. So it's kind of good to practice that. Okay, that means if you've worked on the Ratamacue, you've got it down, you're ready to play solo 4, which uses the single Ratamacue in a solo. And there's other rudiments involved here as well, of course. The middle section that has, starting on the 4th line, is something that is very, very common in traditional rudimental literature. You'll see that if you go back and read like the Nard rudimental book, or even the old Civil War solos and the traditional solos, you'll see that pattern all the time. So I threw it in here on this solo just so you'd have experience playing it, because it's just something that you'll see a lot. Okay, observe the dynamics on this, and here we go, solo 12. Ready and go, and ready and go. Okay, that's solo 12. And that's as far as we'll go today. Be sure you subscribe if you haven't. There's a lot of videos that correspond to this book. And I'll be continuing to keep adding them as we go along. And like the video if you liked it. And we'll see you in our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.